Basement of La Penta. This is WICR.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the special WICR edition of Superhero Fun 5K Walk Run for ALD. In the break, we just did a lot of really fun stuff. We just checked on, my mom has been sending me a lot of great pictures. We just saw the awesome Iron Man suit that the Marvel graciously sent to this event. Oh my god, we were just huddled around the computer looking at this thing. Guys, how cool was that?
Oh, that's amazing, Joe. And the costume looks so sick, and that's such a great thing that they did, Marvel. That really is.
I gotta be honest, guys. I kind of want to go there and play with that thing. Yeah, I might have to take that home with me. I really would like to take that home.
Yeah,
maybe if we
that's
find
definitely a special moment. I mean, that's great.
Absolutely. Now, we kind of touched on a lot of comic book superhero type things. A lot of that. We'll get back to that at the end as well. But I wanted to kind of switch gears to sports a little bit. The three of us in our heart of hearts were sports guys. So at the end of the day, I got some great info. Our man, Brian, he is a huge Brandon. He's a huge Derek Jeter fan, and rightfully so. I mean, if you're talking about a guy who's associated with the term hero in sports, I think Derek Jeter is rightfully there. So we'll talk a little Derek Jeter, but you guys, I want you to tell me, when you think of heroes in sports, who's the guy for you that's been for you, or that you just see in general, is just a perfect representation of a hero in sports?
Joe, I'll start off. My favorite superhero started off when I was about 5 or 6 years old in sports, and it has to go Shaquille O'Neal, Superman, 4-time NBA champion, first-round overall pick, 3-time NBA Finals MVP. He had an amazing career. I've loved what he's done. And one thing that stands out to him is he made a promise with his mom when he went to the NBA that he would finish his degree at Louisiana State University, get his degree. He got his degree. I like his foundation work, what he does for the Boys and Girls Club. Just so down to earth. Besides his basketball career where he just killed it on the court, attacking people, he is so down to earth. You see in his movies like Shazam, his TV shows, Shaq vs. the World. Shaq is just an amazing guy, and it's just a guy I looked up to since I was younger. I've read his books, I have his posters around my house, and he's just the main man to me.
I think that's a good one. I think that's not bad at all. Shaq, look, at the end of the day, being a winner is a big part of that, and Shaq certainly did a lot of winning there.
Now, my superhero started around the same time period, like 4 or 5 years old, is Vince Carter. Now, Vince Carter, unfortunately, he doesn't have the same credentials as your man Shaq over there, but Vince Carter, you gotta give it up to him. He tried to make the best out of every situation he was in. He's a great guy on and off the court, almost like Derek Jeter. He always knew what to say to the media, always knew how to help out kids. He was a typical mainstream superstar. He wasn't like Allen Iverson or Renegade or anything like that. So Vince Carter, I mean, he just inspired me when I was a kid to play basketball, to love sports, to have a passion, have the heart and hustle for anything I do in life. And, Vince Carter, I mean, LeBron James called us strive for greatness, but Vince Carter almost made me strive for greatness in everything I do, and I look up to Vince Carter for that. I mean, this guy, I have signed pictures of him. I have a signed jersey of Vince Carter. I went I had on-floor seats in the Barclays Center last year. He tried to throw his headband to me. I kept calling his name out for 40 minutes straight, Vince. He's like, I might as well say hello to this dude. So he finally turned around. I think Dirk was like, hey, you going to say hello to him? So, I mean, he finally acknowledged me. And at the end of the game, he was at center court, and he tried to throw the headband at me. He's pointing at me. I was like, yeah, I'm ready, man. And he threw it, and he threw it over my head. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
So close.
Yeah, and he's like, that's my bad. We had like a little moment there, and I was like, I'll always remember that moment.
I think it's really cool, and it's kind of interesting both you guys stuck with the basketball theme, so why should I deviate from that? I'm also going to go with basketball. And I have 4 guys who really are my core 4, but I'm going to stick with the one here. My 4, just for everyone interested, Barry Sanders, LaDainian Tomlinson, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James. But I think at the end of the day, if you think of a guy who's just had the impact, I've got to give it to LeBron James. Now, I think one thing you've got to look for more than anything for this guy is just epitomizing doing things the right way. I always look for guys who off the court go out of their way to do things for people, and I think one thing that's really always resonated with me for LeBron is just his commitment to giving back to his community. Even when he went over to Miami Heat and people tried to make it like he kind of turned his back on his community, every summer he was going back to Cleveland. I mean, his organizations are devoted to helping the kids of Cleveland, everything associated with Cleveland, his high school, everything he's done to give back to them. I mean, his motto, I promise, has helped out so many kids getting better, sticking with school, doing things the right way. And I think that's one of the things I really try to do like LeBron. I mean, the strive for greatness motto and just doing things the right way. I mean, there's no shortcuts. Everything you do, do it well. Don't take the shortcuts. Do it the right way, the way that's going to get the job done the best. I think that's one thing that's really done well. And obviously, him on the court resonates more than anything. I mean, talk about a guy who just does everything. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife. He does it all. So I think for the three of us, Shaq, Vince Carter, and LeBron are our three. But let's go to Derek Jeter, because this is a guy who's been in the news for a long time now. And the thing that sticks out to me for Derek Jeter, I mean, just the guy is the epitome of class. Just doing things, like I said, doing things the right way. Derek Jeter is the epitome of that.
Oh, he definitely is, Joe. He has been so quiet in his career and never has talked bad about him. And I had to say, yesterday, my dad had Jimmy Fallon on, and he was on the Jimmy Fallon late night show. And it's like I've never seen Derek Jeter on a late night show, never talking. And it was great to see him smiling and after retiring, just able to talk about everything. And Derek Jeter, what I love about Derek is besides his foundations, the man is so down to earth. And he never goes, oh, you made this mistake in the game, you cost us the game. Derek Jeter is there, and he's an inspiration for his team. The first man out of that dugout, and it's sad to see him go now as a Yankee, because he's the guy, since we were babies, guys, for 20 years, Derek Jeter was the shortstop. And it's just sad to see him go.
And I mean, I think it's very telling that, I mean, even for kids like Brandon, who still see Derek Jeter and they still know, I mean, you think of the length his career has spanned, and just there's not one blemish on this guy's career, not one thing. I mean, and the thing that always sticks out to me is people always tell you, I mean, we're looking for the dirt on Derek Jeter. There is no dirt. I mean, this is a guy who just gets it. He just understands that he's in a position where there's so many people looking up to him as a role model, just as a hero doing things the right way. And it's refreshing, because we've seen in sports now a lot of these athletes, I think, don't understand that anymore, that there's still so many people who look up to these guys, and I think we've seen it more and more. So Derek Jeter is one of those last guys, and it's just been so nice to see.
Yeah, I was going to say before, the thing with Derek Jeter, his whole situation coming up in 94, a lot of analysts are getting underneath Derek Jeter's skin, saying that he the franchise starting shortstop for the New York Yankees for years to come. And what Derek Jeter, his answer to that was, Derek Jeter was not always the most talented shortstop, by all means, but Derek Jeter worked hard. He had a great work ethic, and he just had a lot of heart and hustle for the game, and he always pushed himself and strived for greatness. And that, in the end of the day, that's a hero.
It's all work ethic. I mean, it's doing things the right way. It's work ethic, and I think it's a trait that you share with a lot of the superheroes as well. I mean, we look at LeBron James, we look at your guy Vince Carter and Shaq. They're superheroes in their own right, because what they do on the court, it's things no one else can do, and just the way that they do things off the court as well. I mean, let's even go to Shaq. I mean, Shaq's done a lot of really good things off the court. He's done a lot. I mean, the My Wish series, obviously very good. He's been on that a lot of times. Shaq, Vince Carter, LeBron.
Vince has a charity foundation in Daytona Beach, Florida, called the Hope Foundation, which gives back to the community a lot. He's involved with the Florida systems, the Florida school systems. So Vince Carter is a good, he's a good guy in the community as well. All three of our guys are great role models.
Really are.
Youth.
And I think that's one thing. I mean, the three of us in this room are all very hardworking. I think we learned a lot of that kind of stuff from the guys that we look at. Like I was saying before, it's kind of sad to see, because I think sports is kind of getting away from that a little bit.
It absolutely is, Joe.
It's disappointing. I mean, but it's not. We still have some of the guys left. I mean, there's still one guy like one thing I really like is you see guys like Damian Lillard, young guys like that. I think guys like that really get it. That there's still a lot of people out there who really still look up to you, and I'm glad that there's still some guys out there. Andrew Luck is one especially. I mean, I like Russell Wilson. Oh my goodness,
Russell Wilson's a great person.
Russell Wilson is just like the epitome of what what the old-fashioned guy was like and what kind of we still want. I always root for Russell Wilson because of that, and I mean the guy's got the results on the field. Off the field, he does so much to help people. Russell Wilson, I'm a big fan of. But guys, let's go on. Let's stick with the comic book trend, the digital illustrated feature people. Brandon is also a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. I gotta be honest, I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've always been a huge fan of them. The old cartoons, the old movies. But I gotta ask, guys, what's your favorite color? I mean, it's always a defining moment. You pick a side, you stick with that side, and it's respectable. You know, it is.
I like Raphael. I think he's pretty cool, and he's one of my favorite Ninja Turtles.
There you go, Big Star. You know, I think Brandon, if I'm reading this correctly, his favorite is also Raphael. It is, actually. So you and Brandon are on the same page there. Armand, what's your pick?
Honestly, I was never into the Teenage Ninja Turtles, so I can't really
Oh,
contribute
lame.
to this.
That's lame.
Did you guys see the movie? Was the movie good?
Did not see the new one, but I
Rob,
did.
You saw it, right?
No, I didn't. I was
Oh,
supposed to see it, and I have to admit, it really looked good, and I heard a lot of good reviews from people.
Well, look, it's got Brandon's sign of approval. He enjoyed the movie, so if it's good, if he gives it the thumbs up, I gotta see it.
We gotta see it then.
Also, Nick Young gave it a thumbs up.
Nick
So
Young.
Swaggy P gave it a thumbs up. If he likes it as well, you've got two very good, promising reports there. But I gotta ask Rob. For me, I don't know. I've got a battle between the I don't know the names. I should know the names. The purple guy with the staff, and then the blue guy with the swords. Now, Rob, do you know either of their names?
No, I'm like Raphael is just one of them that really stood out to me. I really didn't watch that much of the Ninja Turtles. I've seen it, but Raphael, when I watched it, was one that really stood out. But I know there's Armadillo. I forget the other two.
All right, well, I'm going to put you guys on the spot. Let's play a little TMNT trivia. I'm going to ask you guys, what was the title of the first episode of TMNT? Now, I'm going to give you a little hint. Episode 1, turtle is in the first phrase. It's turtle something. It was episode 1.
Turtletopia.
That would be a pretty good name, but no, it
I
is
don't
not
know.
Turtletopia. Sometimes you run on this, especially if you run.
Oh, the show. Running on shows.
If you do a certain sport that involves a lot of running, you run on this piece of
Skateboard.
no
Alright, give up. Rob,
Alright.
say something, Rob.
I'm bad.
turtle tracks.
Oh, come on. I had good...
Episode 1 is referred to as Turtle Tracks. Now, I got to say as well, TMNT, the original, I mean, you talk about the prime, this old show, I remember when I was younger watching all these old TMNT episodes, they were just the best. You really can't beat the old stuff. I love it. Now let's go on to the next one. Now you guys have got to get this one. Who is the turtle sensei? You have to get this one.
Oh, isn't he the rat?
Yeah, you got that. That's right.
He is, yes, he is
That's
a
all
rat.
I know. I don't really know
Man,
this.
guys, if you don't get this, I got to kick you out. Come on.
Rob, say something.
Come on, Rob.
I'm thinking.
You have a laptop.
I'm
Look
thinking.
it up. Look it up. I'm sitting here. I'm
You know, if I
blinded over
struck
here.
my finger on this piece of wood right here, it would probably hurt a lot.
The thing is, I have to get it because my boss told it to me over the summer because his son was a big fan.
Armand, we're going back
I
to
got-
his boss if he doesn't get it. We're gonna tell him, Rob.
I got it. Splinter.
You got it, Master Splinter. That took way too long. That took way too long, guys.
Oh,
See,
Hey, at least I knew he was a rat.
yeah, that wasn't
I knew that too.
all right. Now let's go to this next one. Now, Rob, you have to get this one. The show has two main villains. Now, I'm going to be curious to see if these two villains appeared in the movie. I'm sure one of them did. But there are two main villains with TMNT. I want the names, at least one of them. I mean, you got to get one of them at least.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. She's in the movie, but I don't think she's April O'Neil, the reporter.
Oh.
Shredder and Nightwatch.
Not bad. Shredder is definitely one of them. The second one is Krang. Krang,
Okay,
I
Megan
think.
Fox, no.
Krang, I think, is the guy. He had this little brain that kind of controlled him in this like robot guy's stomach. I had the action figure as a kid. There was a competition in kindergarten. I think it was first grade or kindergarten for everyone to get that figure. I think every boy in my class had a figure of Krang because it had the little cool pink guy in the stomach. You guys never had that action figure?
Nah.
Disappointed, man. I'm filled with disappointments here. All right, you have to get this one. Which turtle was the color red?
Raphael.
Okay, there you go. That one was easy. All right, let's go to this one.
These are tough questions.
They are kind of tough.
Especially
Now-
if you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, but you know what? Big Shot Rob should know these. All right, what was April O'Neil's job when she met the turtles?
Can I get this one? No, come on. She was a reporter.
This is kind of a trick. Exactly. You would think she was a reporter, which she is, but it's a trick question. So she was something before she was a reporter.
Can we get a hint, please?
Can you get a hint? All right, I'll give you a hint. You know, we just came from an STL class before we came
Teacher.
here. We did a lot of. We did something there today.
Lab. She was
She was an experiment.
Chloe, you're like as red hot as you
Oh.
possibly can.
she's a scientist.
I'll give it to you. A lab assistant.
Oh.
I figured lab assistant in the cartoons.
That's a teacher. That's.
I'll read you the backstory on it. In the cartoons in the original comic story, April works as Baxter Stockman's lab assistant when she first meets the turtles. And that's really interesting to me because every incarnation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I've ever known, she's been a reporter. So I never would have even guessed that. Alright, guys, one more, and then I'll leave you alone, I promise. Now, I doubt anyone will get this because this is a tough one. What is another name for the Shredder? I don't even know if I can pronounce it correctly.
What rhymes with shred?
I'll give you the first two letters. It's CH. I don't even know if I could give you a hint.
CH. Charcoal.
You know what? You'll never get it. It's Shrell, I believe. Shrell. Shrell is the Shredder's true name, even before he was known as Oroku Saki, according to the Fox cartoon series. The other names are nods to other TMNT characters, Obatu from the original comics. Man, these are some crazy names have here with TMNT. I gotta admit, guys, I mean, if I had to give you a grade, if I was a teacher, I think you'd fail the TMNT
Oh yeah,
test.
solid 24.
I'm sorry, guy. I mean, you got the Raphael red one, but I mean, that was a give me question right there. Really was.
What do we got? 1 for 6.
I think so. 1 for 6. Disappointing there,
We batted
guys.
like Puig in the NLCS.
Oh, don't go back to my man
NLDS.
Yasso crushing my dreams
Band
there.
like Mike Trout.
Yeah, like the LA Angels as a whole. I mean, man, kid couldn't even buy a hit. But that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that trivia. That is going to wrap up this second segment. If you're with us now, you are tuned into the Superhero Fun 5K Walk Run for ALD. It's in honor of the Rojas family for Brandon. I'm going to check my messages when we go to a break, see if we got any more awesome pictures. When we just came back for this segment, the Iron Man suit had arrived. Saw some really nice pictures for that. So everyone stay tuned with us, and we will be back as soon as possible.